Hey, I got a quick question for you. Would you rather have this $1 in your pocket, this $1 bill, or would you like the way to have a system where you can take that $1 bill and turn that into $20? Imagine if you could put zeros behind that and take $100 and turn it to 20,000. So my name is Claude Harris. I'm the creator of College Coaching Network. It's a scholarship software program that has actually revolutionized and changed my financial services practice. Wasn't always fortunate enough to have the system that can take $1 and turn it into $20. My story real quick, when I grew up, I was raised predominantly by a single black mother. I remember in the 7th grade I had to repeat the 7th grade, and I dated a girl that was in the 6th grade, and so she went to the 7th grade and I stayed in the 7th grade, and I found out that, because I didn't tell her, that we were in the same class, and she found out when the teacher called my name, so that was very embarrassing. But I got on the right track, and I actually graduated from high school and then went to college. I walked on to play college basketball down there at Pittsburgh State. And I met my wife down there. We've been married going on 19 years this year. And so I come out of college, I do, the model American dream. I go to college, I get a degree, I get a job coming out of college in accounting. I'm doing auditing work. They're flying me over to different states to audit people's financial statements and all that nerdy stuff. And then, therefore, I remember every 2 weeks I would get a check, right? And when I got that check, I looked and I said, man, this is the same freaking check that I got 2 weeks ago. I mean, the money didn't change. I worked harder, but it didn't reflect on my check. And then I found out in the corporate America a way of doing things that you would get an annual review. And then the annual review would basically tell you, hey, you're going to be able to get more money based upon your boss giving you an evaluation of what you did for the year. And that raise could be 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever they may do. Or you may not get one. And so I was not cool with that. So at the age of 27, I decided to leave that game, and I went into starting my own company. I worked, my first year, I worked actually more time in my business. I worked like 2 times more hours. So if I was working 40 hours a week, I went to like 75 to 80 hours a week. And I basically barely made about the same thing that I made in my on my job. So my second year, I kept the faith and I stuck with it. My second year, I actually cracked 6 figures, so I was pretty happy about that. And so I went from that, 6 figures, and I let that success take me on. My best month, I made $47,000 in 1 month. So I was making good money, and then I went into buying real estate. I had a 580 credit score. I took that score to 705 in less than 90 days. I can tell you more about that later. And then I started buying real estate like crazy. I bought $1.8 million worth of real estate. Then guess what? 2008 came and tore me up. My net worth went down by $500,000 in less than 6 months. It was crazy, but the craziest thing about it is if you've ever tasted, because there's a difference, you guys, there's a difference between having security and knowing that you're going to get a check every 2 weeks and having financial security. And I actually got a chance to taste financial security where I had time freedom, I had residual income or passive income coming from my real estate, and then I was doing deals, so I was making more money on every deal that I did as well. So I had all of it. And then to go from having that to losing that is something that you definitely never want to experience if you can, but it teaches you a lot of lessons. But my whole point is I start searching. I'm like, okay, well, the real estate game is changing up. What other industry is out there that can create the financial freedom that I want to experience, not just security? And so I looked around and I saw that the insurance business actually had, residual income, you had renewals and stuff like that. So I started making my way that way, and I got with a broker dealer that actually covered all my marketing. I didn't understand. I was naive and stupid knucklehead, and I actually got out there and hit the streets. I did over 220 Medicare plans in my first open enrollment year, I think, which was like maybe 4 months. I was killing it out there, and found out that under my contract, he got to keep the renewals. So I had $53,000 in renewals, and he kept them. So he stopped us. He stopped the marketing, tried to run us away so he can keep the renewals and then bring a whole bunch of new suckers into his funnel. So anyway, it was a lesson learned. I was pissed. I was mad, but it was a lesson learned. So what I discovered was the person who can control their marketing, right, is a person that can control their destiny in the insurance business. So I went on a tangent just searching for different ways that I can get into being able to create my own marketing, my own leads. I bought internet leads. I made money with that, but by the time you called them, 7 or 8 other people had already hit them up. I did direct mail, where we sent out the letter to senior citizens about final expense. I made $15,000 to $18,000 or $20,000 in a month doing final expense, consistently spending that $300 every week to get that 1,000, 2,000 letters out. And then you get those leads and you call them and set the appointment and you door knock. I've done all that, right? But the crazy thing about that piece was, around the 3 to 6 month mark, then you start going through chargeback, HE double hockey sticks, where the people actually started not wanting to continue to make their premium payments, and then the companies would come back and try to charge you back for that, right? So my whole point is, I've done all that stuff. I've done workshops and I've done church events and all that, but this particular niche, this college planning niche, this thing, guys, has changed my life. It put me in a position where I've been on the advisory board at the YMCA. I now have a partnership with Chick-fil-A. I have union workers that want to work with me. I'm talking about the whole state. I have people that at school districts. I have churches, youth organizations, and the list goes on, right? And so all of this has happened because of this niche. I seriously average about 400 to 600 referrals per year because of this niche. There's a lot of incentives that people get by sending referrals over through this niche, and it's a referral process helping kids get scholarships for college. So I would love to give you a preview of what I've been very, very fortunate and lucky to come discover, what have you want to say that, because there was a guy that actually had a shell of the software. I connected with him, asked him if I can make some tweaks to it based upon what the parents said they wanted, and so 7.5 years later, here we are. Now a friend of mine had somebody from Atlanta that wanted to get more information about what I've built, and I didn't even think about that. It was probably a service that other people could benefit from too. So please, if you don't mind, put in your name and email address, and we will see you on the other side. I will give you a preview of what I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to be able to discover, which is this college planning niche. Have a great day. Peace.